Campers, it is Happy Hump Day, Wednesday. This will be my Friday. So, read 'em and weep. I can't wait. One more 12-hour shift to go. As a janitor at the post office. What else? Well, if it's said on YouTube, it must be true. Especially by some of the most non-reputable people on the planet that you could think of. Why would you want to? I sure don't. Shout out to Squids. Squids, who I don't see eye to eye on. Well, he hangs with like people I don't like, but to each their own. Like the Tyrant Bird and all that. He did put out a video. Actually, I was the first comment on his channel ever. Did you guys know that? Shout out to the replay crew once again. Squids played a video. He put a video up of it was an audio recorded message. And I don't know when this was done by, of course, one Lady K, who is otherwise known as Blame Katie. Perhaps the fakest person on the planet, not just on YouTube and Discord. Another one who likes to do her dirty deeds behind the scenes, much the same as so many others, just like her. These got to be some miserable bitches in life, I tell you. They wake up. They don't wake up in the morning, and they sprinkle drama on their Danish or their donut. Literally, I used to say coffee, but you know what I mean. Anyways, it continues. And I've talked a lot about this out here, and manufactured drama and selective rage. I'll never forget people trying to lay down the law on me. I'm sitting here going like, you're basically highlighting everything that you have done, you and your cronies, a million times and then some. Hell, we lost count a long as time ago. But anyways, that's just that's what I mean by selective rage. That and it's all part of it. It all fits into the whole at the macro level, the overall picture, the big picture of character assassination. No doubt. We just started this early. We've already got messages held for review. It's a real thing. So, anyways, where are we at here? Where are we at? How's the weather where you guys are at right now? I seen something where Trump's. I don't really get into politics. I hate politics. I think that politicians on both sides of the aisle ought to wear sponsor jackets like NASCAR drivers, so we may know their corporate sponsors, including especially all the earmarks that they make, and slip through the system for extra political favors. That would never happen. Interest lobbyist groups and all kinds of things like that. So anyways, I don't like them. I don't like any of them. Well, maybe a few of them that'll actually, not sugarcoat and skirt around the truth and cover it up and say, well, let's put on a little dog and pony show. Let's put on a little play here for the American people and the world at large, and we'll just we'll sit here and talk about all the juicy stuff behind closed doors. In other words, executive session. executive session. That's the just like the 9/11 Commission report. Don't even get me started on that one. Anyway, back to the Blame Katie thing. I did drop a link to the video in question. Well, it's not really in question. It's just something I'm sharing out for you guys. And you can listen to this. I've only listened to about the first minute of it because it was time to go live for me, because I got the early AM shift here. And listen in to what Blame Katie's apology tour. One of many. One of a million. You know, if there was a sign that said Blame Katie, 100 million burgers, or, well, apologies made instead of burgers sold. Shout out to the Golden Arches. I don't think there'd be enough numbers to fit on that sign, quite frankly. Anyone who's old enough to remember that, of course. But be that as it may, it's a good catch. I'm glad he got that. You can actually download those when people drop those recorded Discord audio clips and things like that. You know, they're you can actually click those and download that rather than screen record it. I think it looks like he or somebody else screen recorded it, which is just as well. I mean, it shows the actual, you know, timestamp and, you know, the dates and who dropped it, you know, in the actual DC. But yes, it is true. People do clone, or at least they used to anyway. They would clone. I'm sure that still goes on. Cloning Discord accounts. Happened to me. Truthfinder UK did it to me, and I'm sure others. Just like is going on YouTube, which doesn't seem to be as big a problem now. If someone is at least the wiser to read a hashtag left in a live chat. But I bring that into extreme question, however, with many people out here, probably more than not. If you're inquisitive enough to read, to just even glimpse at, you know, it's not always easy to do because people have alt accounts, and alt accounts tend to be very similar in nature to a person's original account or channel name. I, for one, can speak to that. I can. Now, moving on to another key topic, I had heard through the grapevine, and I'm only going to mention this in brief because this is, again, secondhand information here, that if you look at my second to my last community tab, you can read about that. And, you know, if that be true, then, you know, like the post reads, I hope this guy finds his way off to the spirit in the sky. Shout out to Rev Kelly. Even though the odds that this guy was ever a authentic reverend has been up to wide debate. You know, it's irrelevant to you know, getting the sad sorrow news about learning about someone's fate. So I'm not going to go too much into that until if I hear anything new about that. I do know who he is. He was he's on Twitter, and I got a couple of comments that he made on Facebook, at least one or two of them, kind of when he was part of the anti-Abe, or the Abe-nayers as I call them, at the time. So him and I pretty much ended. I never really feuded with this guy. Never really feuded with him, but he just kind of joined the Hate Abe squad. Yes, I did a couple, not a lot, a couple of videos mocking this guy. It's a long story, and it's very old news. It goes back to probably at least 4 for me, but probably 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe even a little bit longer than that. I'm not for sure, but totally for sure. But he said that he owned this this custom bus. It was this coach bus that was converted into what was called what was the Sunbum is what it was called. And this in the 1990s, this was a converted coach bus into like a personal RV, luxury RV that is, that an actor who's no longer with us, known as Ernest Borgnine, who was actually a 33rd degree Mason, owned. And him and his son would go driving around. They would go down to Florida, and they would stop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and go. And they would do this Shriners Parade thing, or for the Shriners anyway. And there was a documentary that was done on this in the year 1995, if my memory serves me right. But looking at a picture, which I have on my old laptop, of the one that he owned, I believe he owned a Winnebago. So I don't know how this whole thing transpired. A lot of this stuff went on when I was that's kind of the history of why I made a couple of videos about him, just on the fact that he made reference or claims that he owned that bus at one point. Anyways, it was said that he had a ordained ministership through Universal Life Church, like Rick Crude and like the most. Now, whether or not he had some other kind of certificate of said ordained ministership, unbeknownst to me, I don't know. I never got that interested to really care, to be honest with you, even to this day. But him and I used to talk about the Masons. He was a Freemason. I am one. From a very long time ago. Very, very long time ago. There's like the Red Lodge and the Blue Lodge, and the degrees, Scott Wright degrees, anything past your third degree of Master Mason. Once you start as an apprentice and first degree, you're a journeyman at the second degree, you're a Master Mason at the third, and then you start climbing up the ladder to work on your Scottish Rite. But be it as it may, and yes, there's I don't know how many people are made 33rd degree Masons. It's an honorary thing, but you do a lot of work to get it. It's not like getting an honorary PhD. Although there are people that have done a lot of work where they have been gifted an honorary type PhD, but didn't actually do the physical work of the legwork of coming up with an entire dissertation and all of that. And some of the classes you got to take. I don't know if it's like a semester's worth of classes or what it is to work towards your PhD. If you're actually going to get an academic PhD rather than honorary type of PhD. And there's different types of PhDs. There's like qualitative and quantitative type of PhDs that people can academically earn. And then, of course, to maintain your doctor title, not medical doctor, of course, but your education doctorate, you have to do so much work for the school or something in which you hold it. And I don't know all the particulars on that. I've never pursued that avenue myself. I remember when people were saying I had 2 master's degrees on here and had a PhD. Things I've never said that I had or did. Good morning, guys. How you doing? But by all means, you can definitely over-accredit me. You can definitely give me those types of honors on YouTube if you so desire. It doesn't mean that I'm going to support that, however. So bear that in mind. If you're talking about me on the internet, spreading a bunch of lies about me, as a lot of people have done over the years, then you're not going to I'm not going to resist somebody running around giving me like I say, honors and credit that I certainly never said that I possessed, but that these people did themselves. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It would be nice to get an honorary PhD, but just like a 33rd degree Mason, you got to do a lot of legwork, a lot of work for the Masons to achieve that degree. It's not just a matter of social clout, if you will. It is you putting in literally a full-time job into the Masons to earn such a honor. I don't know if it's 100 or a couple hundred people around the entire country that actually get that status, but it's few and far between. You can rest assured. 051, 151. I don't ever see you come around here. Are you lost? Anyways, I'm actually gonna do a live stream, hopefully on one of my days off. Isn't worth educational debt. Well, I was privileged to be able to, beside my associate degree, I was very privileged to have free academia all the way up to the master graduate level, and here I sit before you today to tell you that I have $0 and 0 cents in my federal student loan account. I owe zero, the big fat goose egg. So I'm one of the few lucky ones that was able to get to this high achievement in academia and earn it, of course, and then not owe a penny. I paid in cash along the way when I was working on my associate degree. That's 20 college classes. At the time, I think it was around $60 a credit hour. This was 26 years ago. There you go. Hey, kudos to you. Kudos to you. Always lost? Well, then you're definitely in the right place, Zero. You're definitely in the right place if you feel lost. Anyways, you can check out that Squids Blame Katie video clip. I shared it. Not a lot of people know of him, unless you're, kind of mingling and hanging in the areas he does on YouTube. He's been on my channel a couple of times. He knows who I am. But like I was the first dude. I was the first person to ever make a comment on his channel ever. So I remember that. I remember that. 75. Yeah, well, it just depends. And then of course you got your lab fees, your admission fees, just like when I was in my tuition remission program at which Rick. There's another thing Rick Rude said never existed because he never went to college. I'd be stunned if he actually really. Well, I wouldn't be stunned if he graduated from high school. All I can say is I totally understand. I feel for every educator that was stuck with him along the way, who deserve more hazard pay for having such a. I can only envision nightmare student as him, stuck for an entire year. Could you even imagine one single class contact hour every day to have him in the classroom, and what it was like for those teachers, what it was like for them? They're probably still in recovery to this day, even though they're all retired. I'm sure by now, if they're even still around, most of them. But anyways, it's been a while, been a minute. I mean, you got to figure I've been out of high school for 26 years, so there you go. Now, anyways, let's see. An apex degree. Yes, I remember this. Learning that story from you. Yes, I actually do. And what else was I going to discuss with you guys in any sort of length? I said the last time, I did not hit a lot of panels this year, and I had people even recently try to get me up on panels, but there's a couple of them I would have got on. Like Blues Live invited me. I think it was him on a panel one night. I think it was his channel. No, wait, it was Zatoichi's. It was Zatoichi's the other day. And I would have gone up there, but I was at my job, and there is some hope in my post office janitorial career, of course. I guess I can call myself a Fed now because people say I work at the post office. So I'm a federale, guys. I'm a federale. I swing that mop, and I empty those waste baskets and change those toilet paper rolls, refill the soap dispensers, as a sanitary federal marshal. That's what I am. Sanitary federal marshal. Because I clean those bathrooms and swing that mop, sweep those floors, vacuum those carpets, and clean those windows and a whole bunch more for the U.S. Post Office. So there you go. Help Me Have Napped by Abe and I'm Stuck. I don't know exactly what that means, Zero, but sure, what the hell, why not? Just go for it. You do you, boob. You do you. But no, I have not really done a lot of panels this year comparative to my return on 2022, and I can assure you next year I'll probably do even less. I don't like ambush panels. It's a lose-lose situation because, and it's one of the reasons I don't get on Lisa B's. One of the reasons I don't get on COVID's if he even goes live. I don't think he's gone live in like a month, if that, around there. And then when he does go live, he makes it private when it ends. So you can't. You're not going to catch the replay. And now that he doesn't have membership, because he got demonetized a while ago, which of course I got blamed for, it had nothing to do with. You can't go back as a member and look at the old video content like I used to be able to do. I was one of his earliest paid subs, actually. Six banger is in the house. So the thing about getting on a panel like Lisa B's or like COVID's, just to name a few of them, or back in the heyday, the Flying Monkeys channel, or Bedtime Clowns. He was really horrid at it. Hillbilly Mans. All these people share. Huckleberry. Same thing. They all share in common. Morning to you too. All these people share in common is this. The way it's going to play out is you're going to get on that panel. Hum along if you can't sing along. You know the drill. You've been around a long minute or hour or two, right? That's right. Evil Terry, same thing. All these channels have one thing in common with each other. You get up on their panels, and and this is not comparative to pay to play. $1 a minute, $2, $5, whatever. Whatever you're doing there, whatever you got going on with your channel. But it's called kick off the panel, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you get up on some of these people's panels, and then you start to go to bat at these people. They start their usual gaslighting and dogpiling routine, and then if you start coming out ahead, you start getting one up on them. Then what happens next is you simply get muted, you get thrown backstage, kicked, and then lied upon, told that you rage quit, and then you get in the chat and you call their bluff out on that, and guess what happens next to you? You get timed out or up to getting blocked from the channel. We all know the drill. So there's no winning in that. It's because again, you can come out shine like a white knight and call these people out for their shit. Yes, you can. But they're going to go out there and run around and spin a different narrative on you and say, wow, Rick Rude won that argument, didn't he? Because Abe just done left. Well, that's because you kicked me off the panel. That's why. Well, he didn't come back. Well, why do you suppose that is? Or if you do try to come back up, you're sitting backstage, and the host is deliberately ignoring you and not letting you get back up again. That is how it works out here, people. That's how it works out here. So that's not how I work, however. If I drop somebody, I tell them, I tell you, the audience, people who care or don't care, and everything in between, that I dropped them. And this is why I dropped them. I had the honors of kicking both Bird and Steph off of my panel. And as soon as I kicked them off my panel, I made damn sure that each and every one of y'all knew that I kicked their asses off my panel. She completely disrespected me, and which that comes to no surprise. He was lucky I even let him on my panel, because all that guy does is run around and lie and call me a PDF file. That's all he does, with no context. I played the clip. I put the clip on my channel where he can't even get the right person that I was being accused of being a PDF file of, for fuck's sake. Now it's my right to say it. There you go. Where's Bedtime Clown to talk about what didn't go down on Lady Di's panel in 2022? We'll wait for that. I'm sure he's out there somewhere. That only happened to certain people, Abe. No, it does only happen to certain people, because, once again, why would the channel host, along with their cronies, certainly do not want to let someone who does, who frequently has that happen to them, such as moi, have the upper hand and come out smelling like a rose. Forget the pun, not a wilted rose. And that's exactly why they do that. So the only winning game in that, much like the movie War Games, is simply not to play at all. When Flying Monkey was trying so desperately to get me on her panel, even just a couple of years or so ago, I never took the bait. I only got on her panel just a couple of times over the course of the 2.5 or so years that those people are blasting me on there and spreading all kinds of lies. But my point is, the reason I would never agree to her terms, never. And that her terms at the time, and during that, and through the whole duration of all that, was very simple. You could get on my panel, but you're only going to get 3 minutes to talk. And all the other panelists have unlimited time to talk. They have an infinite timer. So you know exactly how that would have played out, don't you? I think you do. And for those that don't, let me go ahead and walk you through it step by step. So the way that would have panned out is simple. Each panelist would have taken 15 minutes to half an hour to talk each, and by the time it got around to my turn, it was time to end the show. That's exactly how that was going to pan out, and that's it. So I never ever agreed to those terms. My terms were very simple. No one puts me on a timer if I get on a panel. We're not doing that. I don't get my mic muted. I don't get thrown in the basement. We don't play those games, okay? It's all or nothing. And the one person that I actually gave a shout out to contradict what Rick Crude said about me, because all that guy does is talk shit and lie. But all that guy used so when what's her name, Betsy Peeler, was around, and she's the one who did a lot of banners for a lot of notable, known people out here in what's known as the 1A community, because that's who she followed. Her brother was an active auditor at the time. I don't know if he still is or not today or not. I don't know. What was this? He was known as Spit and Cobra Copwatch. Is her brother. But I got on her. Now I got blocked from her chat early on in the game, of course. But one thing that for whatever reason, she would let me get on her panel, I give credit where credit's due. She was certainly not a fan or a friend of mine. She was more in line with the Abe Nayers But she really didn't play into a lot of that. She just didn't. Most of the time, she would live, and these people would bring their shit to her panel. She would pretty much say, "Don't want to know about it, don't want to hear about it, don't care about it." But she is one of the few people that I can say actually let me on her panel, and she did not mess with my microphone one single time for the entire duration, and that is no fooling. I sat on her panel for over 2 hours, and she didn't screw with my mic at all. ER Videos used to play with my mic and throw me backstage. However, there is a couple of times where he let me just go all in on these people, and not a one of those people would ever take a link and get on his panel. Instead, just bitching in the chat, and then disowning him for letting me sit there and tear into him for over 6 hours. One shining star sun and Sunday, not in the ice cream. Although that does sound good, even right about now. But be it as it may, yes, I also remember her streams too, even up to her last one. I've got some of that stuff downloaded on my old my hard drives, my 3 terabyte hard drive that has everyone's DNA strand on there and their iris scans too. Anyways, stupid fucking people out here. They just take the bait and fall for anything. They really do. There was an actual comment made by whoever STO is, state the obvious, whoever that person is. And I do not agree with over a lot of shit that whoever that is typed in chats, mostly done to antagonize, instigate, shit with people, of course. But I did screenshot a comment they made on Vegas Valleys, I believe it was, the other day, and that I do agree with that comment. That's one of the few ones I can say I actually agree with. I've never tangled with that, whoever that is. Never got into it. The STO has never really gotten. The STO has been on my channel. Not STL, but STO, not Big Brick. But STO, who's got a similar head that has like the drip font like Game Over 2 has, Instead, it's just in red instead of blue. But anyways, have made a comment that people will spread false news and fake narratives, and then everyone will just buy into it and just go with it. And basically that's how it works out here when you're trying to character assassinate, the living fuck out of somebody. Pardon my French, but don't, please. It's not Sunday. So do I have to plead or kick right through a mashed potatoes? I don't know, but Zero. I have no idea. But when Hebrew Operator started that, I believe it was him that started the Abe Potato Head thing or whatever it is. My head's not shaped like a potato, first of all. If you looked at some of my older videos, you can see what I actually looked like. I don't weigh 400 pounds. Again, that's fake AI generated shit. I couldn't function at my job if I weighed even 300 pounds. I do a lot of walking, and I'm in some hot environments through much of my work shift. I would collapse if that be the case. When did I ever have that, Zero? Once again, if it's said on YouTube, it just simply must be true, right? There you go. So hang on a second here. I'm going to take care of that. All right. So anyways, where are we at here? Well, that indeed is. That is steer right on. Anyways, where was I at here? Where was I at? What was I talking about? Oh yes, this STO comment that was dropped. Other people have made similar comments, but I will give them a shout out for having made that comment. Like I say, I don't see eye to eye with a lot of what STO says, but I don't know who is STO anyway. I mean, Who's anybody? But we're again, that's exactly how it works out here, and people just buy into anything, and the reason they do that is it's part of hate bonding 101. You hate bond with people, and you become one of the wolf pack. That's how the whole thing works. That's it. That's the name of the game, people. That's how she goes. So, people try to fish bait people into shit. They try to get you to paint yourself in a corner. The one thing that I've always been very good at is catching people in their bullshit when they try to act like they're asking you like a serious, genuine, quote unquote question, but it's not a question at all. It's what it is it's a derogatory, defamatory, slanderous remark that's phrased in the form of a question is what it is. Dagmar's in the house. Holy guacamole, boy, we go back a ways, don't we? Yeah, we do, actually. Yes, we do. So anyways, just like Ellie Spike and who else was around back then? There was a chalk handful of us that were around back in the day. Yes, there was. Yes, there were. But anyways, where are we at? I really have a whole lot to go live and talk about this morning. I hate to disappoint some of you, but I'm just here. So, but I do intend to do a panel. It's been a minute. I don't do them very often. People will sit there and chant on. They'll sit there and go, panel up, babe. Come on, give us a panel, give us a show, woo! And they're like a cheap pep rally, and then they never show up, and then all these other people show up. So, anyways, I tend not to do panels very much, and then you got to be so protective of your channel. And if you honestly want my advice, guys, if you're going to do a panel and you do care about your channel, you definitely got to throw up a wall and just leave that damn thing up the whole time. Just leave it up. I mean, if you're dropping the panel link and you're not just sending it to certain people, and even then you got to be so careful because you don't know what's going on and who's passed what around to who. You like to trust people, but at the same time, same token, it is all at your assumed, a risk, and becomes a grim reality. We've seen so many people lose their channel. Remember when Stabby first went live? And, we know what happened there. If only she had a wall up, she'd have been fine. But she was using the free StreamYards, and you can't use free StreamYards anymore and do a panel and just dropping your link to any rando and their brother and sister and next door neighbor to come up on your panel. It just does not work in this day, in this age. I'm sorry. I mean, you can risk it to get the biscuit, but all the channels I've created, I've worked very hard to maintain them. There's a lot of people that lost their channels in Strike Wars alone, but because something, like I said once before, man, those people, if you're somebody that's lost your channel, you don't give up all hope, people. There's a couple of ways you could come back with that. One is the YouTube pilot program. And if you qualify after a year, 365 days, then you can be eligible to get your channel back. You make a new channel. They don't give you your old channel back, but you can make a whole new channel. And if your hashtag is available, which, if it's a banned account, they won't let anyone else have the hashtag anyway. If it's one that got, taken down, you can apply and get that hashtag back, but it's a whole brand new channel. So, but the other way, I have seen miracle stories of people where YouTube just decided to give them their channel back one day, just boom, like that. I don't know if it was an error, if somebody out there in cyber country was looking out for them. I have no idea, none whatsoever. But what I do know is that it has happened to people. Yes, it has. I'm living proof that, listen, you can fight like the Dickens, and you can get your channel back. And because I'm one that actually did it. I did. And I'm very proud of that. Those are bragging rights, by the way. StreamYards, it doesn't even you don't even use it, really? Well, the thing about that is Liliana, yeah, go live sometime, and if I'm not working, which I don't know when I'm not, then I'll jump on and kick it with you. Remember when Rada used to get on there? Oh my god, he was in Blues last night when Connie the Rebel was kind of bashing him a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you mean the guy that you hate bonded with is even as recent as like earlier this year, or when was the last time he was around? I mean, he'll come back around the bend again, and he'll run roughshod and completely vaporize every panel he gets on with his presumed ADHD, where the fuck this guy's got going on or not going on, and getting on panels and pulling a bedtime clown and cranking what Rick Crew used to do, and cranking his studio mic up to like 60 dB over 9. In other words, just to the super max in the red, just so he can blast over you. That's what Bedtime Clown used to me all the freaking time. I mean, this obnoxious ass soundboard. You know how many complaints I got from people about him because of that annoying ass soundboard that he used to run? Oh my god, it's annoying as fuck. But at least the one that Big Brick runs is like funny. It's not like overbearing. It's not like over deviated. It's where it sounds distorted because it's just so damn loud. It's actually funny. Like he had the Liberty Bird, the Tyrant Bird one, and that was freaking hilarious. I mean, he used to bring that up my panel when he'd come around here. Big Brick did. So, anyways, you're gonna go live tonight. Well, I gotta work tonight, so I can't probably do much there for you. But if you go live tomorrow, I'll be off. I can't make promises I can't keep because promises are maybe broken, of course. But no, I would love to kick it with you on the panel sometime. You make it happen. This is my fourth 12-hour day in a row here, so we got one more to go. One more to go, guys. One more to go. True crime. I call him Krama. Some of the drama, Liliana, you gotta go live tomorrow, or do it tomorrow again, or hold off till tomorrow because that's gonna be my next night off. Is that I'm not a 9 to 5 guy. I remember when people were trying to calculate my hourly wage, and it just wasn't working out for them because that's presumed that I'm working straight 40 hours in a work week. And even if let's say I made $28 or $33 an hour, just as an example, you can't base that off of a guy working like 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, because I don't work banker hours. I'm sorry, I'm not a desk jockey. I am not a desk mammal. So there's that. Yeah, definitely drop the links to your channels. Let's do this. Krama can get really ugly. It can get mighty nasty. Even if you've been following like COVID's channel, for instance, he would bring a lot of these women on there. And I'll never get. Well, I get it where people try to pull the sexist sister act, as I call it, and say that men shouldn't attack women out here. I'm sorry. If I don't care if you're a guy or a gal, if you start talking shit about somebody, and it gets back to them, and they decide to fire back, I mean, listen, it's called tit for tat. I mean, if you dish it out, then you have to take it back. Yes, I would agree that tit for tat can always escalates. It always does. And there's people like Steph out there, for example, that like to literally egg people on to go meet up and fight and shit like that. As others try to put the kibosh on that, and people like her and just sit there and attack and alienate them and call them a POS for doing it, because that they're trying to at least put the two sides to not throw what we call, quote unquote, the nuclear switch, which is a political term, of course, military political term on like somebody. Emo wants to fight you, and I don't think he does, man. I don't think he does. The one person that he wanted to fight so bad, as I remember, is two of them. And if anybody goes back that far back, there was Kate Peter, which he went live and drove down her street very slowly, and drove right past where she lives. He did do that. That is still on his channel. And then he went to Boston. He went to, your cousin Vinny from Boston. Isn't that what it was? Samuel Lamb's beer commercials. Wasn't that the beverage? I think it was the alcoholic beverage. But anyways, he went to this train station to confront this Gary Snowflake character, not to be confused with Gary Snow, because I know who that is. That's a guy that has to do with like the PDF side of YouTube, or Poor Dirt Farmer side of YouTube. And don't mix that up. I'm not calling PDF. That's PDFs. It's easier to say, but you got to be careful how you say this, of course, because it could be easily misconstrued. Poor Dirt Farmer. It's easier to say PDF than Poor Dirt Farmer, but the problem is everybody associates that with something very sinister and not so nice. I mean, I ought to know, but I'm one of the many that's been accused of being a PDF file for how many years on here, right? How many years? And none of that panned out because none of it's true. People when people get desperate, and they, like I've said a zillion times, and they got nothing else to go with because they really had nothing to begin with. That's what they'll always default to. It's like the default garage dip switch code for your garage door opener. If you remember back in the day, where you'd flip the switches up and down, and there was always the default one, that it came with, and you have to move them up and down, and change them on the remotes back. Nowadays, it's all done wirelessly, remotely, but back in those days, back in the heyday, it was not, and that's how the old garage door openers worked. So that's literally how I see that. And so whenever you can't get something up on somebody, that's the next best bold move. I remember this on AOL chat rooms. I literally do. People doing this kind of shit in there. They absolutely do. It's just a thing. It started out over 30 something years ago, and it carries to YouTube and Discord to present day. It's rather unfortunate, but it is what it is. That water is so watered down when people have nothing better to attack you with. That's absolutely, positively 110% correct. People were that for it was 2.5, almost 3 years on here. Almost 3 years. And there's people that get called the fruit grape, is almost as equally as that. It's the sleaziest go-to that people will do out here. And even Aussie Manda, who she blocks me. She'll block any account she sees that's me, because I get it. It's the whole Abe Nair anti-Abe movement shit that goes back, like 4 fucking years ago on here. Or she just genuinely doesn't like me, or both, whichever comes first. Not that it makes a difference anyway. But I agree with what she said. Again, she said that on the shit show in the chat. She got up on the panel, talked a little bit too. But AC highlighted that comment, and I can't agree. AC knows. He's been accused of shit he didn't do. It's the easiest thing that you can call somebody. Calling somebody a PDF simp or supporter is just an open-ended accusation. And what I mean by that is there's no context there. It's not even in the Urban Dictionary, for crying out loud. It's not. There's no. What does that even mean? I mean, did somebody financially support someone who is that? Is that what that means? Well, it's subjective. Its definition is very subjective at best. And then like I went at Bedtime Clown yesterday, I can throw it right back in his face and say, "You're friends with you're Rick Crude, and we all know his history." No, the guy's not on paper, but I mean, look at the things he's done. Look at the shit he said to people and about their kids on this platform. I'm not even going to repeat. Y'all know this of him, and people just sort of brush that off and like, it's just Rick. Rick's just being Rick. So, I guess we let shit slide. So, anyways. Well, Zero, I'm sorry you struck out today. Try again later. Damn. I had high hopes for you, Zero. I really actually did. Yes, I did. I have very high hopes for you, but you disappointed me. Anyways, yeah. Good morning, Stabby Stabby 3, who occasionally gets mixed up with Stabby Shade. Wasn't it late night, Mr. P, who thought you were Stabby? It started. Everybody is so obsessed with Stabby, they can't get enough of her. I don't care what you say about her. It's all in the making of manufactured drama content for shock value. It's all it is. None of these people even knew the history of her and 420 Moon or Hebrew Operator, and I only know even a quarter of it if I'm lucky. But I certainly know a lot more than these people do about it. Yeah, and I'm sitting here going like, man, you people don't give a you don't give a rat's ass about any of this shit. You don't care. You're just doing this for content. That's all it is. Just admit it. Just live up to it. It's all this. That's all that ever was. And every channel that featured and did this, even Kane's Catharsis, Kane's live streams. I do not hate Kane. I don't hate Kane. I think he's hanging around some shady characters like Paulie Crispy. I don't hate Paulie either. I do not hate Paulie Crispy. But I mean, it is what it is. You have to answer for you at the end of the day. That's the thing. Now I don't have to. Nobody else has got to answer for you but you. And that's the way it works. That's the name of the game. That's how it works. Now, here's the thing about that. Here's the thing. But people love to pit people against each other. They like to throw people in the same in the mix together. This person said this, so therefore it's you rubber stamp it, you said it. Listen, and I own my shit. You guys know this. 20 people in here right now. Feel free to clip this. Paulie wants a cracker. That's no joke. That's no lie either. Well, I'm sure I don't know. It looked like he had trimmed down and lost some weight, so good for him. I'm happy for him. Not that I'm fat shaming or anything. I'm just saying this. He looked some recent pictures I saw. I mean, it looks like he's looking a lot healthier. So good for him. But anyways, trust me, Bird and Steph will not take you far. They will not. Somebody pointed out Kane won't host Steph and Bird on his main channel, his main account, because he knows that they will get him demonetized. And if that is be true of why Kane put him on his alt account, he is definitely the wiser. Because that he would be correct in that. That's exactly what those two will do to you. They will not only get you demonetized, they will get your channel nuked for the fucked up foul shit they say on there, including blasting people's kids. And these are people that sit there and act and they hide behind a fake they're fake masks Bird does anyway, not so much her as pred catchers. And then Steph sitting here saying, well, we all come to truce here. Stop talking about each other's families. And within like 2 minutes, that's exactly what she's reverted to. When somebody gets on that panel that she is very much at odds with, and that is putting it very, very lightly. So some things never change. Some dogs you cannot teach new tricks. But there was somebody in this community that actually got so angry at me, they blocked me on Discord. And for the longest time. And I'm not going to out who that is. They know who they are. And actually called me out saying, listen, I don't appreciate you. And this is when people, back in 24, when it was attack Abe, like on the daily, and let's fuck with Abe and troll Abe and all this other shit. And I didn't care. I didn't give a rat's ass about that back then. But it's just when you start calling me things that I am not. Well, yeah, then Houston, we have a problem. And I don't mean Rick Rude. Him and I that guy is scum. I agree. Aussie Manda said, she said she didn't even hang out anywhere Rick Rude hangs out. And I'm like, listen, just in that alone, that is to be noted. At least somebody out in this community came forward and said, because that guy talks so volatile and nasty and talks about it says horrific things about people, makes death threats, and is just so disgusting on here that she won't even be on any channel that she won't even participate and be seen anywhere near a channel he's on. I will give her a shout out for that. Yes, any day of the week, twice on Sunday. Yes, I will. Absolutely, yes. Where other people don't have the gumption or the spine to do it, or they just simply avoid the issue altogether, and just either engage or just basically host it on their channels. A guy like him, a slimeball like him, and he's not the only one, but he's definitely one of the top ones in my list. And he blocked me when I told him. I says, "Listen, dude, I'm tired of having to time your ass out for 24 hours because you're doxing kids in my chat and saying horrible things about them. So we're not doing that anymore on my channel. How about that?" And he says, "Well, I'll just block you then. Bye." And there was my answer right there. He did not agree to the terms of not doxing children in my chat. He did that like two or three times, and I'm like, you're done with it. We're not doing this anymore. So take your pick, take it or leave it. And he decided to leave it and not take it. So if that doesn't paint a picture of what that guy is all about, I don't know what does. So there's that. What was funny? I don't know. I've talked a lot of shit on here. But anyways, I try, but no, what I was driving at was, I had gotten to a toxic point where I was calling out anybody and everybody that hung out with people that were doing the Abe trolling 2 years ago. But some of that trolling crossed, well, more than some of it, crossed some real thick red lines, not just thin ones either. And I've talked about this relentlessly, profusely on my channel, and you guys know what all that is. Where you've gone beyond trolling, and you're trying to paint me as this horrific monster, this horrid human being. It's that is a man without a conscience, somebody that is a danger or a threat to society. And you want to talk about my resume? We'll talk about my resume. But nobody's entitled to it now. Nobody's entitled to know anybody's business on here unless you bring it here. It's just like 420 Moon. I didn't mention her yet. When she comes around, well, don't talk. Keep your nose out of my business. That's what she said about me. I'm like, the hell are you talking about now? You psycho babe. You bring your shit here. You brought your shit here. You brought it here. You're not the only one that did, but you brought your business to YouTube, and then you spun some false narratives. You're not the only one, but you are one of the definite key players in this whole Hebrew saga thing. Yes, you are. And because you bring your shit online, and now you're sitting here saying, "Wow, because I don't like you," or I want to try to. It's the whole, again, hate bond thing, Abe shit that goes back again 3 or 4 years ago when she wasn't even around. You want to play that game? I'm sorry. You brought your shit here. You decided that you were going to reel me into your world, and guess what? Now you don't want to. You want to take back the red carpet, and go ahead and trespass me from your channel, or block me from your channel, which I don't care about. But I'm just going like, again, you lost this fight, and then you had no irons in the fight here. You lost, just you're a sore loser. And then to top that off with a cherry, the cherry on the top of that sundae, of course, is she goes and tries to reel other people in, just like she does, and like the Black Roses do out there, and Queen Wasp, same thing. That's what these people do. They're smaller channels. What I mean is much smaller than I am, and some of you are, and they go and try to reel in a bunch of hate bonders to go in at you because they're just too weak to do it alone. And so when 420 Moon went to Cajun Brandy, of all people, I'm just going like, okay. And I see Cajun Brandy on my channel. Why did you and Stabby wished death upon 420. You wished her to die. What? Okay, first of all, let's see those receipts. Still waiting. Well, they're on 420's channel. Oh, okay. You're talking about me inferring that she thinks she's so high and mighty on the totem pole. She is such a high roller on YouTube that she's that she suffered the same fate as Jimmy Hoffa. You talking about that? Yeah, nice try. Cajun Brandy once again is not somebody gets on my channel. Show of hands, when have you seen Cajun Brandy get on my channel? When is you don't. Cajun Brandy is not getting on my channel. She doesn't care about my channel. She never comes on my channel. When I've had panels in the heat of the moment, when I've had 50, 60, 70 people or more sitting here and lighting my chat up like a frickin' fireworks show, on the 4th of July, okay, you will not see Cajun Brandy in here unless she's in a sock account. So I'm like, what the fuck is this about? Oh, that's right. 420 went and cried to her and played her little violin. And because 420 is not strong enough to take me on her own, which she started, right? 420 wasn't even a thought in my mind. There's a reason I had nothing to do with that whole Hebrew and 420 and Drag Classy, who had a crush on Hebrew. I agree with Andrew when he said that, yes. Well, I actually said it before he did anyway. And then she got us and started screaming. That was so funny. That was hilarious. I'm like, talk about somebody who can't carry their own, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, completely lost her composure just by somebody making a wisecrack at her, for fuck's sake. I mean, she couldn't survive my world. Is that Golden Boy or is that Global Reporter? I was kind of ignoring my chat. Oh, yes, that. But anyways, somebody was going at Mr. Golden Boy, was it yesterday when I was live? And I'm like, reread that hashtag there, my guy. I keep calling him Golden Reporter 1, and it's actually Global Reporter 1, which whoever is behind that account has been misidentified as being Golden Boy merely because of the channel name association, which is, there's no association there that's similar. And also before him, you know who else got accused of being Golden? I mean, there I go again. Global Reporter 1 is COVID's. Maybe it is COVID's. You never know. I'm just saying. But that's our armchair quarterback there, right there, right? Well, that was his original channel name anyway. Hoffa was fed to the Sharks. I thought he was cementing a bridge in Atlanta, Georgia. So anyways, I'm like, 420, you can't, you're a weak attempt at a return troll, or you simply have 0.0 backbone, and you can't take the shit you dish out. So there is that. And so you got to go try to reel people in like Cajun Brandy to go at me and try to say, "Oh, you are just a horrible person. You wish death upon 420 Moon. Ooh, you're going to hell for that one there, guy." Again, 420 Moon, I guess she's just like a black rose, man. Same thing. Only we are much to our digital demise on here, if you will, symbolically, of course, is she'll take a link and get on a panel, and we can hear that gravel voice of hers literally all night long. But then she tends to be more panel furniture than anything else. So I've at least noticed or observed. I tend not to like to be on panels where I'm just sitting there not saying anything, or I get occasionally a word in there once in a while, and you just got everybody else going to the panel, and I'm just like getting ignored, and I'm like, I'll go back to chat. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me up. Bye. I mean, if I'm not being a part of engaging in that, whatever's going on that panel, then what's the point of even being there? I mean, that goes for any channel, not just any select few. But like, once again, I've done very few panels this year, and do not be surprised if I do even less panels next year, because that's probably going to wind up being the case. When I'm on my own channel, I don't have to worry about these mofos muting my mic, throwing me backstage, then kicking me out, and then saying I rage quit, declaring winners, like winning, like UPK, and then I'm in the chat, and then I get fucked with in the chat. I get timed out, blocked, all this bullshit. I'm like, man, I don't need this shit. I don't need this, so I can just get on my own channel. And if you guys want to talk to, listen, you can only entertain, and you can only speak to the few that come, not the millions that don't show. And that is many truth to that, right, Nemi? What's going on? What's happening? So anyway, shout out. And that's again, it's if I just like Brett said it on his own panel. He says, listen, I'm going to be doing this till my dying day. He said, I don't care if there's 11 people in here or 100 people in here. He's still going to go live and do his thing. And whether you like the guy or you don't like the guy, you know what? Shout out to him, man. That's it. That's how you. That is definitely being a winner out here. Well, you don't give a damn how many people are watching you. If there's just a few people out there watching you, you are acting like the like it's standing room innovation only. The entire stadium is packed like sardines. Even the nosebleeders are full. People that look like little dots, on the field. Field goal. So, anyways, so I am definitely tickled pink, pleased as punch, to have you guys, my audience, and I don't thank you enough, because you are the ones that make it all come into the pieces all come together with you. So far, I have not been blessed with bedtime clown's presence to try to rewrite history on what was going on Lady Di 49's panel 4 years ago, as he tries to flip the script and completely rewrite it, that nobody even gives a damn about. But once again, he's got nothing to go with, so there you go. I am not going to tip my hat on this totally, but my next upcoming video, which will be a short, is going to feature him again. Yes, it will. He actually wins the top views for my recent live streams. The other one was Clipping Prime, simply telling me to shut up and things like that on Golden Boys Reporter's channel. And that was like a month ago. And I stashed that away. I just didn't have time to go clip that shit out of there and turn it into a funny clip. I'm like, hell yeah. The third one was the cartoonized, the tunized tyrant bird with his multicolor hair. That was a box blowout is what that was. Box theater blowout. That one hit it big too. It really did. Surprisingly, the video that actually got the most views I ever had on my channels is on my other channel. I think it's private now, but it was a video short I did on We the People Tyrant Wars quite a while ago, and it drove them off the wall because that video got more views than any video they've ever done on their channel. That was fucking hilarious. Oh my God, was that funny? So anyways, happy fun times. Had once, but never more. Nothing is forever, and neither are we. Anyways, that's how she goes, man. That's how it goes. Anyways, it's been over an hour in here. You guys want to get any closing remarks? Is there a before the jury goes back for the YouTube what do you call it? The court of public opinion goes back for deliberations. No, I hate to say this, but Steph got that one wrong, as Bird did. A signed deposition is not, and I repeat, not necessarily evidence. And even if it is administered as evidence on the docket, it is considered something we call hearsay evidence. So, in other words, people not necessarily would lie under oath under deposition, but just like eyewitnesses' testimonies, eyewitness accounts of shit, one eyewitness will see something different versus another. It's still been 31, I believe, or more years. I think it was 1995 or 4 since I had one of those things, and I just kind of blaze on by it at the store, thinking about Six Bang dropping Hot Pockets in the chat, and that all stems to Bedtime Clown and Rick Crude. Well, Rick Crude misdiagnosed me with a condition I was fucked up in the head. And then Bedtime Clown went ahead and called me. Well, he came. He's the one who coined. He takes the credit for it, so I just give it to him anyway. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Of calling me Autistic Abe, and that was 3 years ago. 3 years ago now. Anyways, don't autistic people tend to have very high intellect, like really super IQs? Okay, I guess you're complimenting me there, BTC. Ooh. Got me there, guy. Boy, that's a hell of a comeback there, man. However, will I recover from this? However, don't laugh too hard. I swear to God, I just feel like I'm in like middle school, with like a lot of these people, because it's just like that's like their mentality, and the best they can do. Anyways, hearsay is something that has been heard and passed on. It's often difficult to prove without an independent witness. That is correct. And the corroborating witness. So the problem with that is, eyewitness accounts, they tend to vary across the map. Number one, you do remember playing telephone in like kindergarten. I do, and that was one of the earliest examples I can remember of taking the word of somebody when some secret message is being passed around the circle, and then comes out completely out of whack and totally. That's just human nature, guys. That's how it goes. Whether it's incidental, it's not done intentionally. Someone might have a shorter term memory as the next person, or the next person, and then they just sort of misrepresent some statement or something that was told, a truth that was told, perhaps. But yes, eyewitness testimony it always varies. Number one, and number two, depositions are, just because they are signed under oath, does not make them factual. No, they are not. All it is hearsay evidence, even if it's administered in the courts. It is documented, logged as such, because what that would be implying is that somebody's accord, or somebody's of a event, or something that they were eyewitness to, or whatever is being attested to. That is like saying that person's word is as good as gold, merely for the simple fact that they did a deposition. Much the same as if they were up in the hot seat, on the stand testifying. It can also be construed as it's hearsay evidence. It's somebody testifying to what they believe the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you Google or God. But it doesn't mean that what their account of whatever it is they're testifying to is accurate, is correct. It could be correct in part. It could be mere conjecture, and that's up for some sharp attorneys and a judge to make the determination thereof, not people on YouTube panels. So there you go. I remember people trying to pull this shit on YouTube, and saying, "See, look, there's a signed deposition. Look. And then they're like, "This is the smoking gun that fired the first cannonball." And this is absolute proof. And I'm sorry to tell you, no, it's not. Go back and watch the People's Court, the Hot Bench, Judge Judy. Watch at least a couple of episodes of that, preferably a couple of seasons of that, even though it's what's called arbitration court anyway. And at least maybe you'll get a better feel for what I'm talking about, what I mean by that. And I don't take it for I'm not. I ain't no attorney, but it don't matter, because the way I've come to understand how things work out here in YouTube is this. The way it works is, if first of all, if it's said on YouTube, it simply must be true. That's numero uno. And people just, again, they'll just take the bait on anything, and people just go with anything, just to be part of the crowd, just to be, just to be again a wolf in the wolf pack, and that's how it works out here. And just because people say stuff, it doesn't make it true. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I see it time and time again where people will call people liars with no context. And then they'll sit there and demand the person that they're calling a liar prove that they're not a liar. It doesn't work that way, people. I'm sorry. It certainly don't work that way with me. It does not work that way with me. It should not work that way with you guys. I am sorry. Sorry. So sorry. So anyways. Oh, I tell you. There was something else I was going to say to the effect too. It was really good too. Had a really good one there. Real juicy one. But anyways, I might have to save that for a rainy day. But yes, if it is said on YouTube, it must be true. Abso-freaking-lutely, totally. Every other week and twice on Sunday. Absolutely yes. So that's why I put very little faith in what people say versus what I see. And just like I called out Tyrant Wars, who drove them bonkers off the wall, where they made 3 or 4 videos in a row about me, which is still on their channel, by the way. When I called them out for their own banner that like nobody next to nobody noticed, that said something like, this channel contains content that falls under hearsay testimonies and speculative verbiage. That's what it said. In other words, it's up to like you to interpret it. It is not factual basis information. It's like, hey, we clipped this person saying this, and we ran with this narrative, or we tried to, we presented our rebuttal to it, or we tried to present our case, but it's based on our opinions alone. The only thing they missed in that is it also missed out on what we call conjecture. In other words, maybe a half-truth or something. And then, this is what I was going to say. People tend to put what they call receipts out, is widely clips that are taken out of context. Yes, they do. And they put that out as the actual facts, which it's not. In many cases, it'll prove what someone said, but it won't give you the context of why that was said, or why that person said what they said, perhaps, or at least so you can come to your own conclusion on it, make your own determination. And that's where we were on a slippery slope out here, just in general, that I've seen for years, is people will put something out as they call a receipt, but then they will try to spin that. They will present that in a very biased way, and I'll tell you, if I could have got away with that in college, I would have been a straight A student. Hey, TOS, I stayed live just for you. What I mean by that is, when you present an argument, like on, let's say, a book report or just some project in college, and I really don't care what class it is, if you present just your argument or your hypothesis, and you don't present the arguments of opposing viewpoints, and that, you're probably not gonna score so highly on that report in that class. You might not even pass that class. So I guess out here in YouTube land, if you just simply say something, or present what you say are facts, and you don't present at least the opposing viewpoint, in MX, then it would certainly, you're trying to persuade the audience. And so if you're not, if that's up to the eyes of the beholder. If you're not intellectual enough to do that on your own, well then I'm sorry for you. I literally am. But if you're not, then you're one more like me that has a little bit more of an analytical type mind, and will take what people say and what they do and they put out there, and try at least the best we can to look at the overall picture and say, well, TOS forgot the E in Anna and Abe when she said hi to me. So anyway, there's that, right? There's that. But yeah, there is no end in sight to it. But a lot of it falls under human nature, hate bonding, things of that. And there are people out there that have done and said some real shit, foul things that is literally not even up for debate that they said or did it. But a lot of it to me is what they did. Is it continued like behavior? Do they are they trying to are they trying to like skirt around the fact that they might have said or did something? Is it perhaps something is what they did, even though they did it, perhaps is it being taken out of context? Is it something that that needs further analysis, if there is such a thing as transparency out here, which I've always brought into some serious questioning. Yesterday's in-house. What's going on, dude? Would you get on my panel if I did a panel, man? I'd love to have you on. But y'all know where I'm going with this. And here endeth the lesson. Is what I just said today going to make a difference out here? Come on. Of course not. Of course it isn't. But I don't see a lot of people in here trying to denounce what I just said. No, I don't. So there is that too. There's definitely that. Anyways, I got to get up on down the road. It's a pretty chill chat this morning. I tend to be a pretty chill kind of guy. People like to bring and stir their shit up with me. I guess because they got nothing else going for them or nothing in common. I don't know, or both. All right, well, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'll take that under advisement. But anyways, I didn't finish what I was saying earlier. I caught myself falling into the down the rabbit hole, if you will, in the mosh pit of basically alienating anyone and everyone that associates with anyone and everyone that talked shit about me or said shit about me or went along with, and it wasn't fair to the ones that didn't engage in that did not support that didn't, you'd never catch them on doing that. And they're the ones, and there's very few of them. There's a couple of them that was a rude awakening to me and had to make me kind of reevaluate my position, and recalibrate my compass, my moral compass out here with myself to say, wait, you know what? You know something? I think that those people, those few people, that actually said that, I can actually see their side of this thing. I understand what they're saying. I get it. And taking it out. Whether they did or didn't call it out, they did once or twice, to call them out and say, hey, you are just as much a part of all of this as all of them were, because you were just simply there. Spoken out against some of the shit that people were saying about me and calling me, which I'm not, wasn't then, never had been, nor ever, never will be. But at the same token, I can't alienate every single person on this planet who would fall in that particular category. Because I just can't. Anyways, that's how it goes. Everyone knows. So, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me again this morning. You guys want to do it again tomorrow? What the hell? Why not? Maybe I'll go live for 4 hours tomorrow, because I'm going to be off in the morning. Liliana, if you're out there, if you go live tonight, at least I can tell you I will be tuning in as much as I can. At my job as a janitor at the U.S. Post Office. So, us federal sanitation agents, be down like that. Be down with it like that, That's just it. Okay, thanks guys for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm good for it. Don't forget to tip, man. Don't forget to tip. Oh, shit. Wait. I didn't drop my Cash App. I haven't dropped my Cash App in a very long time. I haven't dropped my Cash App. Should I do it? I don't know. Maybe I should. Do it. Then people can go back to calling me a scammer again, even though I never scammed anyone in my life. That would be something like for the history books of Honest Abe, for damn sure. He's not honest. He scammed Zero of a skateboard. Well, first of all, it's not A, not a skateboard. B, and no, I did not. So there's that. There is definitely that. Just because the stream is not around anymore, where we sat there for 2.5 hours or whatever the hell it was, going over the whole breakdown of all the parts that I bought for that thing, and even investing a little bit of my own money, is not a me problem. Sorry. Well, post up the receipts again. Post them up again, or you're lying. Oh, because you of all people called me a liar. And I'm not going over again. Just go to my other channel. This channel is it's my .1 channel, my Honest Abe .1 channel. It's one of the two channels. You got to go back 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, in the community posts, and then you can find that shit. And if you're too damn lazy to get off your duff, not like Duff Beer on The Simpsons, that, again, a you problem, not a me problem. Just because somebody decides to come along the bend 2 years later and say, oh, Abe's a scammer's liar because he won't post up the receipts again. He won't post. I'm sorry. Am I here to cater to your demands? I mean, do you have rights? Do you have rights to my channel? I mean, are you paying my bills? I mean, what is this about? What is this? I have to show receipts for shit that I've shown receipts on before, even though I didn't have to, because people say that Abe's a scammer, Abe's a liar. So therefore, I have to. Is this a guilty until proven innocent community? Well, yeah, actually, I just sort of answered my question before I even asked it. Yes, it actually is, but only for certain people, of course. Only to parties, that is, in other words, right? That. So, I'm sorry. I have to show receipts of everything that gets re-brought up again, re-energized, like the Energizer Bunny just keeps going and going. It's a Timex watch, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So I continually have to debunk every fucking repeat lie that comes around the bend, to appease who now? Who? Any of you? Oh, I'm sorry. Missed that one. Missed it by that much. So no, if I've already shown receipts for non-receipts, in other words, people accuse me of shit I didn't do, umpteen years ago, I am not obligated, I'm not obliged to show anything just because people said so. Well. It doesn't work that way. I don't know what fantasy land that any of y'all live in. If this applies to you, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Don't worry about it. But once again, just because somebody decides to try to call you out on something, whether they're new to the game or whether they've caught wind of it through the grapevine, great song, right, from the '60s. But people do shit like that doesn't mean you have to debunk it every flip time somebody decides to pull that card. I mean, the Joker's wild on that one, right, guys? That's right. Anyways, guys, guess what I gotta do? I gotta get out of here. I do. I do. I was gonna hear a while ago. But just remember what I said. And if you don't want people getting into your business, do not, and I repeat, do not bring your business, in other words, your private, personal life affairs, on to this platform. Keep it off. No matter what you want to tell, there's stories I would love to tell you guys about my personal things I've gone through in my life. My life experience stories, right? I mean, if people are qualified pseudo-psychiatrists or masters of malpractice online, and they're pseudo-lawyers because they watched Perry Mason and Matlock growing up, and Judge Judy and all the other ones, Judge Wapner, the People's Court, remember that one? And his bailiff there? Yeah, that. Just because you're somebody that grows, or maybe you're in true crime, whatever. It don't make no difference. That does not make you a lawyer because you have life experience, or somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that is. It does not work this way, guys. I am sorry for you. So, listen, I know a retired psychiatrist, a degreed, board certified, well, at the time, retired psychiatrist who ran his own practice for years upon years upon years. Okay? Jeez, I remember stopping by just to say hi to him. Bring him some donuts or something, Here, have some donuts. But never was I like a patient of. I've never had to. I've been very fortunate. I've never had to, and I'm not knocking anyone that does or did, of course. I'm just simply saying as I've been through shit in my life. We've all been through some shit in our lives. There's the many pitfalls of life, but I've never had to go see a shrink. I've never had to do it, and I do not knock anyone that ever has. But you know how it is out here. You know how it is. Abe said he knew a psychiatrist, and he went to his office a few times and dropped off some snacks. So that means he saw a psychiatrist. Well, I guess if you want to play the verbal judo word salad game, sure, you can say I've been to a psychiatrist's office. But again, just to drop off some cookies or donuts, because I know this guy personally. My whole family knows him. So anyways, for a lot of years, many years, decades, this guy's getting up there in age now. But see, because I know and I've known a real psychiatrist throughout my whole life, then that makes me an online psychiatrist too. You see how that works? Because I have life experience. Well, much the same as those worthless life experience high school diplomas and college academia degrees that you possibly purchase from the University of Abu Dhabi or where the fuck ever, are as worthless as the ink and paper they're printed on, because they're not even honorary. There's nothing. It's not an accredited anything. You call it school on wheels. So I'm never going to buy into the pitch phrase, that I am skilled to misdiagnose you on a YouTube panel, which of course you're getting gaslit, dogpiled on to no end, as being someone on the spectrum, or any of that. All that is a cheap shot troll. That's all that was. That's all it is. See it all the time. See it all the time. It's been going on since the birth of social media. Anything going on. Shit. At least 35 started, coming around the bend, and AOL and Yahoo and NetZero and Netscape, NetZero 151, came around the bend. Yeah, that. So, anyways, a life experience counselor. I love that. I love that title. Hey, if these mofos are entitled, then I am even more entitled. Because I actually know a retired psychiatrist. Yes, I do. I can pick up the phone. Well, I mean, at least let this guy have his breakfast or something. He's retired. He can sleep until noon if he wants to. For all anyone cares, or he cares anyway, which is all that matters. But again, that overqualifies me to misdiagnose every one of you on this platform, because I have a life experience. Oh, I tell you what, if we were to rely on brain surgeons, and nuclear physicists and civil engineers based solely on life experience, I think we'd have a lot of wavy roads out there. Number one. I think we'd have a lot of dangerously built and designed nuclear reactors on power plants and submarines and all of that. Number two. What other job? Number three, we'd have some major misclassified, misdiagnosed patients out there on remember, and dangerously prescribed medications that probably are going to do more harm than good if they survive survive it at all. Survive it at all. Oh my God! Then I'll seize the golden moment, the golden opportunity to say, for fuck's sake. Anyways, I call them overeducated high school grads in their own mind. Anyways, I laugh at that. It's hilarious to me, and that would be like me saying that I am a biochemist because I have an MBA in business. It's just those are incompatible disciplines, job fields. I do not know the slightest thing, and I'll be honest with you, about bioengineering anything. Okay, forensics anything. I don't. It's cool to watch the shit on TV, but I have no clue what they're doing, even though it's like highly edited. But I wouldn't have a clue how to run one of those machines, of any of those, whatchamacallits, on gobbledygoops. What do you call them? What's it called? in some sort of a scientific laboratory. No. You probably would have something like a major pandemic multiplied from the last one, pandemic, if I was running a bio level 4 controlled lab, bio-controlled anything. Or nuclear, radioactive, radiological, anything. I have no clue how to do any of that shit. Just because I've got graduate education does not qualify me to do anything scientific like that. At least I have the spine to come out here and admit that, right? I mean, come on, really? Oh shit! Now, if you want to talk about create a business plan, if you want to talk about, how to structure a company, whether it's going to be a sub-S, incorporated, it's going to be a LLC, a limited liability corporation, the types of management, like X theory and Y theory. If you want me to go back and try to figure out how to calculate the CAPM and WACC theories to calculate the average cost of a stock option, well then maybe I'm your go-to guy, maybe not. But that does not qualify me to get out here and diagnose anyone with anything on gosh darn YouTube. I'm getting better at this, see people. I'm getting better at this. No, and no, some more. S'mores. No. It's just, I'm sorry. You got to remember, college people that get degrees in college of any kind, it's a very thin. You have some wisdom, some knowledge in a very narrow field of anything. It's you are going to college to learn a very particular discipline or a major. You majored in something for a reason. And like, what is it, like 70 some people that even graduate post grads wind up in jobs that have nothing to do with their degree field anyway. So there's that too. There is definitely that. But it doesn't qualify. You're not an expert at everything because you get a degree in anything, as I'm trying to drive at here. No. But people on YouTube, whether they have it or they do not have it, academia, anything, sure seem to think that they're experts at everything and that exists on the planet, have all the answers to everything in the world because they have life experience. God, get me going on that one. Get me going on my soapbox on that one some more. Please, somebody drag me up back and take me out of my own misery like old Yeller. Watch out, 420 Moon and Cajun Brandy. I just implied that somebody had a bullet to my to my head because someone's going to drag me out back and take me out of my own misery. So blast me for talking about somebody dying, which I'm talking about myself in the third POV point of view, third person point of view, on YouTube. And again, I am not that relevant in the scheme of things that somebody would want to Jimmy Hoffa. I'm sorry. They're just, who out here is that relevant? Please do tell. I want in on this mystery. I'm not on the inner loop of much of anything out here, so at least give me that. Somebody, please. Should I put a dollar amount to it? What the hell? Nobody got the last question. Still hasn't got the answer to that for $25. Where's my honey bedtime clown? Oh well, I'm sure he's done a drive by, but he decided not to drop in my chat today. Damn. That's still not going to prevent me from making an upcoming video about him, however, and I'm going to do that tomorrow, I think, or I'll start prepping it tonight is what I'll do, and if I get time, I'll actually upload it, but probably not until, like, I have, like, the enough free time to, of course, sit and actually do it. And it's going to be a funny one. You're going to like it. He might not like it, but you guys, I think, are going to like it. It's going to be pretty good. It'll be a video short, mind you, but still, I think I got something good. I was kind of conjuring the idea prior, and definitely want to do it. By the way, Rebel City, you do care about views, clicks, and views. I do not. Likes, I do not. I mean, if you want to thumbs up me, thumbs down me, it all goes in the algorithm, which of course him and Bill Clinton invented the internet in 1992. So there's that. But don't tell that to Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. Well, they'd have a cow. Anyways, I'm out of here, people. I really am this time. It's time for me to go. It is time for me to rise above it and shine. Everybody, have a splendid day. And I don't mean the Pokemon either. The rare Pokemon. Which usually comes around Valentine's Day, I think. The Splenda, I think it's called. This little, like, cute little bear thing. I got a whole stack of those. Anybody want to trade? Remote trade on Pokemon Go? Yes, Al Gore invented the internet in 1992. You do the same there, Hum Along. You do the same. And all the rest of y'all, 8181. Everybody. Yesterday, underline. TOS. Six Banga. Nemi, you know who the foo I am. 191. Okay, Chris Jensen. There's a funny sock. Golden Boy reports, made his usual one comment. Yep, have a great morning if you're still out there too. Liliana, we can't wait to tune into your live tonight. Stabby3_Willow, all not all lowercase, but all but the S. Lady Di in 49. Lady Di, that's so hard to say this. Lady Di 4992.0 goes live on the daily. Goes live on the daily. Did I miss anybody? 0151 280 Bandit showed up today. Dagmar_1 was in the house. Shout out to Nightbot. Shout out to Nightbot. And I think those are the highlights, people. That's really it. That is really it. And all okay, bye. I mean, bye. Shoo, go.